Being the most powerful and strongest individual, yet labeled as a low-rank hero in the world of heroes, would you let such recognition bother you when you know your strength is unparalleled and your only goal is to find an opponent who can truly challenge you? Well, this beautiful hairless superhero is not bothered. His name is Saitama. The hero agency is concerned that they've lost contact with Metal Bat, and they worry that the monstrous centipede will continue destroying things. Mohican and Pineapple face the giant centipede monster, fearing that it's going to kill them. Metal Bat shows up flying around and starts shooting at the giant centipede monster. He tells Mohican and Pineapple to evacuate the area because his weapons are disastrous and could injure them. They run and Metal Bat continues going after the giant centipede, worrying that its body is as hard as his weapons can't even cause a scratch. As Mohican and Pineapple talk, Rhino Wrestler and the other monsters show up. The Rhino tells them to hand over the civilians, but Mohican and Pineapple refuse. Brutal Bat is fighting against Hero Hunter and the fight intensifies. Hero Hunter hits Brutal Bat in the face heavily and he bleeds profusely. Regardless of the pain and blood loss, Brutal Bat continues the fight. Every time Hero Hunter beats him, he comes back stronger. Hero Hunter realizes that Brutal Bat is getting stronger every time they beat him, but he says he's game on and will surely take him down. Brutal Bat swings his battle using his powers, but Hero Hunter is too strong for him and keeps blocking and dodging the swings. Brutal Bat falls hard after Hero Hunter hunts him down, bringing pleasure to Hero Hunter. Zesko, Brutal Bat's younger sister, shows up at the fight scene as Hero Hunter is planning to finish off Brutal Bat. Zesko stops Hero Hunter and tells him that her brother promised her that he would never expose her to any violence, so they must stop fighting. Hero Hunter thinks it's over and stops. Walking away, Zesko tells her brother to go home with her because there's a monster, but Brutal Bat denies and tells her to go by herself as he wants to fight the monsters around the area they are in. She tries to stop him, but he keeps going. She jumps and hits him on the head, and he collapses. She sits there with him. Phoenix Man and Hydra Jellyfish, who have been watching the fight, compliment Hero Hunter's fighting skills. They talk to each other about how important Hero Hunter can be to them, and Phoenix Man plans to give him an invitation to the lair. He looks at Hydra Jellyfish and realizes he's not with him anymore. Hydra Jellyfish sneaks up on Brutal Bat's sister and plans to kidnap her, but Hero Hunter attacks him. Hero Hunter raises a concern that shows he's been noticing them following him all day. Phoenix Man gets down from the building he was standing on and spectating. He talks to Hero Hunter, telling him that they're not enemies but rather on the same side. He gives an invitation to Hero Hunter, telling him that he can take him to the lair. Hero Hunter tears the invitation to pieces and says he's not interested. Phoenix Man says he'll pretend he didn't see that and says they'll meet again. He flies away. Phoenix Man tells Rhino Wrestler to retreat and take the kid that was saved by Pineapple and Mohican. He tells the Rhino and the giant centipede that today is not the day they're fighting the last battle, but they'll come again. This time, they have to retreat with the kid as hostages. The Rhino, who seems to be having fun at the moment fighting Pineapple and Mohican, resists Phoenix's words, but he's told that on his own he cannot win, so he must retreat immediately. The Rhino and the giant centipede start retreating. Metal Bat jumps on the giant centipede as it starts going underground and says he'll not let go. At the area, the announcer starts introducing the fighters who will be in the match. Many learn that Tsuryu seems to be the strongest. Bakuzani says if he kills Tsuryu in the match, he'll become the most famous and strongest because people went crazy after hearing Tsuryu's name. Unlike Saitama, whose name is Charanko, at the tournament, people booed him in the moment his name came up, setting their eyes on him. Bomb and Silverfang are on the building inspecting around, trying to catch sight of Garo. They see someone fighting a Class S hero and they get there immediately. Arriving at the scene, they see it's just Pugnus, terrorizing people. Silverfang tells Bomb to sit this one out as the Pugnus launches an attack on Silverfang. It's surprised at how fast Silverfang is. Before it could focus, Silverfang had already taken it down and killed it. They walk away. At the arena, Lightning Max is set to fight against Ring Ring and she makes her first move against Lightning Max. While in the city, Super S is terrorizing people and whipping them with her whip. She tells the heroes that they're fools to think they can go against her. The Martial Gorilla also takes down some heroes and tells the people watching that he took down Heavy Kong, and they should spread the news as the people thought he was Heavy Kong. The Blizzard Bunch and Blizzard herself show up and see that the whip is turning their own people against them. She tells Super S that she won't get away this time. Super S is enjoying, saying there are more suitors coming in and she'll make them her slaves. At the arena, Max knocks out Ring Ring. Saitama and Zakos are in the next ring and Zakos assures Saitama that he's going to murder him. Unfortunately, Zakos is knocked out with a single slap from Saitama. The crowd's morale is boosted upon seeing Tsuryu enter the arena to fight Max. Max tells himself that it's impossible for Suryu to be better than him. Suryu walks in, smiling and looking confident. Saitama, who's standing next to Sourface, wonders why the crowd's morale has changed all of a sudden. Lightning Max tells Suryu that if he enters the competition to get stronger, and if Suryu defeats him, he'll not be considered himself a hero anymore. He sees Suryu as an incompetent opponent and intends to use his new anti-monster fighting technique. Suryu tells Max that he's a professional hero with lofty ambitions, which seems to anger Max. The referee tells them to begin fighting. Max makes his first move using his lightning big wheel double X kick, but Suryu stops him with a kick to the face, knocking him down completely. Suryu explains that the only reason he sought strength was to glide through life easily. Demon Cyborg talks to himself, digesting the fact that there are actually other powerful masters like his master, Saitama. In the control room, a person monitoring the security of the place rushes in and tells the others that the monsters have reached the city and will be heading to the venue soon. They must evacuate the building. Bakuzani disagrees with evacuating the people, fearing it would cause panic. He advises that the area is filled with masters of great skills who can deal with the monsters, and he volunteers to take care of them. Demon Cyborg receives news that the city is flooded with monsters and he must go and take care of some of them. He tells himself that he can deal with the monsters and make it back in time to watch Saitama's match, the one he's looking forward to. He leaves the arena after watching Snek's match with another master, and Snek wins. Demon Cyborg is in the city dealing with monsters while the matches at the arena continue. He hopes to finish fast and make it in time to watch his master's match. Sourface, having his first match, gets in the box to fight his opponent who's also new to the experience. Saitama tells Sourface to do his best as the match begins and the opponent fights each other. At the end, Sourface does win. His defeated opponent helps him celebrate. Saitama asks Sourface if he won the fight since he was in the bathroom. Sourface is surprised to hear that Saitama didn't watch his match. Demon Cyborg comes across some heroes who have been taken down by a cockroach monster. He asks them what happened and they tell him that he shouldn't let the monster get behind him because that's the fastest way to get defeated. The cockroach monster shows up and its fighting techniques are top-notch. Cyborg uses his powers and explosives but to no avail as the cockroach is too fast and he can't seem to catch up. At the arena, Saitama's match is announced to take place and his opponent is Bazuni. Saitama is struggling to tie his belt around his waist because he's forgotten how to tie it, since he had to take it off in the bathroom. Many wonders if Saitama will make it out since his opponent Bazuni is well known and very powerful. They stand in the box to fight, but Saitama is busy tending to his belt while Bazuni is there, standing almost like a giant about to devour a little kid. Buzani asks Saitama if he is an amateur. Saitama says it's his first time doing these things and he'd like to experience Buzani's martial arts technique. Buzani closes the gap between them and reaches for Saitama to show him now that he will likely take him down. As he demonstrates the way he'll do it, he happens to touch Saitama's fake hair, and Saitama seems to not like it. Saitama tells him not to touch his hair, followed by a hard punch that sends Buzani flying and landing on his head, knocking him out. Everyone is in awe to see this, even Suryu is impressed. On the other side, Cyborg is still dealing with the cockroach monster. Seeing how fast the cockroach is and how his chances of winning are very minimal, he stands idle and focuses. As the cockroach sneaks up on his back, it gets stuck in some liquid things that Cyborg is releasing through his shoes. Cyborg turns to blow the cockroach monster, but it escapes, leaving its legs still stuck. Blizzard is attacked Super S. She turns Blizzard's men against her with her magic, and the men start attacking Blizzard. Blizzard tries to hold them off with her magic. Super S uses her whip, severely whipping Blizzard, making her weak, and she falls on her knees. Super S forces Blizzard to call Tornado her sister. Blizzard manages to get her strength back and attacks the Super S with her magic. Super S dodges while trying to fight her. Blizzard tells Super S that Tornado is coming as they see a great tornado coming in front of them. Tornado arrives, Blizzard's men go after her, and she thrashes them away with her magic, gluing them to a wall. Super S flees upon seeing Tornado. As the matches continue at the arena. Snek is matched to fight against Suryu. Snek matches his moves against Suryu, and Suryu keeps dodging the attacks and not fighting back. Snek asks Suryu why he's that strong and adds that Suryu pisses him off. Suryu says he wanted to test Snek's ability, and Snek makes his move again but gets whipped with a hard kick by Suryu, knocking him out completely. The crowd makes noise and Saitama, who's on the toilet, wonders why the crowd is making noise all of a sudden. One of the monsters is making a report to the Monster King Orichi, saying that they've weakened the Hero Association, meaning the Monster Association has great leverage over the Hero Association. The monster mentions they sent only a small number of monsters to terrorize the Hero Association and they should already be weakened. If they send all the remaining monsters, the Hero Association won't stand a chance. Saitama is set to fight against Sourface, and Sourface tells Saitama that he'll teach him the real martial arts, but Sourface is knocked out by Saitama even before attempting to move. Saitama makes it to the semi-finals. In the bathroom, he complains that his fake hair is itching, removes it, and starts scratching his bald head. Sourface walks in and Saitama holds his head with his fake hair on. Sourface worries that Saitama is probably scared or nervous to face his next opponent. He encourages him, mentioning that even if he had won the fight, he would be nervous to face his next opponent too. Sourface warns him about the opponent in the semifinals, describing him as the real dark horse of the tournament, advising Saitama to be careful. Saitama looks at Sourface and thinks to himself that he's starting to sound like a decent senior disciple, even though he's not Chiranko. At the Hero Association offices, they alert each other that a horde of monsters has just shown up at the Watchdog Plaza. More reports come in that monsters have flooded the suburbs as well. A Dogman robot challenges a serpent monster. The monster releases its snakes and bites the Dogman robot, but it doesn't die. The Dogman robot jumps on the monster and activates a self-destruction mode, blowing up on the serpent monster. However, the monster survives the explosion. The monster finds the kid controlling the robots, a Class S Rank 5 named Child Emperor. As the monster tries to devour Child Emperor, Mr. Pig God shows up, saying he heard explosions and came. The monster sends its snakes at him, but he swallows the snakes along with the monster. Child Emperor is shocked and worries that Mr. Pig God might die due to the monster's poison, but he learns that they can't do anything to him. A good number of heroes from the Hero Association have shown up and are dealing with the various monsters that have flooded the city. Saitama is set to fight Chose. Chose is fierce, and the announcers make it clear that Chose has been enjoying the physical destruction of his opponents. Chose assures Saitama that he will murder him and make him feel pain. When the referee gives him the order for them to start fighting, Chose takes the first move but is knocked out with one punch from Saitama. Everyone is amazed, and the announcer makes the announcement that Saitama, who's known as Chiranko at the tournament, is going to the finals to face Tsuryu without a scratch on him. The heroes in the city are fighting a monster, and they seem unable to kill it, only managing to anger it. They make a run for it when the monster is chasing after them in anger. Tornado comes in and saves the day by squashing the monster with her powers, calling her fellow heroes idiots for trying to run. Atomic Samurai is called a meeting with his fellow monsters, and they talk about Silverfang's obsession with finding Garo to kill him. They say that Silverfang is skilled but getting old, and he's also in pursuit to fight his former student, so there are high chances he might take it easy on Garo and end up getting killed. Every member present agrees except for Hagiri, who then shows them some human cells, telling the rest of them to eat or he'll terminate all of them. He informs them that he's become more powerful because he's given up his humanity and ate the monster's cell to become a monster too. Atomic Samurai disagrees with taking the monster cells. As Hagiri tries to kill them, Atomic Samurai makes use of his sword and eliminates Hagiri right away. He walks out and tells his disciples that they need to go. Back at the arena, Saitama is facing Tsuryu. Tsuryu tells Saitama that they should have some fun even though he came to win the prize. Saitama tells Tsuryu that he came for the experience, but also to win the prize. As the fight begins, Tsuryu starts dodging Saitama with kicks, but Saitama doesn't fight back. He just stands there protecting his fake hair from falling. Saitama and Tsuryu talk it out and they agree to make the match more fun. They start fighting, but Saitama only fights with his legs while his two arms protect his fake hair. Tsuryu decides to take it more seriously since Saitama isn't giving him the fun he's looking for. He makes his most reliable attack on Saitama's head and Saitama's fake hair falls. Saitama is pissed and he sends a punch straight to Tsuryu but holds it before it reaches Tsuryu, tearing Tsuryu's shirt off. Everyone is surprised to see that Chiranko is not Chiranko but someone else. Snick recognizes Saitama. Saitama gets disqualified and they announce Tsuryu as the winner. But Tsuryu insists on fighting Saitama because he doesn't want to accept defeat. Tsuryu makes more deadly attacks on Saitama, but nothing good comes out of it as Saitama remains standing and without a scratch. Saitama hits Tsuryu with his back and sends Tsuryu to a wall, keeping Tsuryu on his knees as he talks to himself for the first time. At the closing ceremony, the host congratulates Tsuryu for winning the match and warns the audience about the monsters that have appeared outside the stadium. They're instructed to remain in the stadium until the monsters are gone. Suddenly, a man from the audience screams, "What are those?" The people gasp as they look at the monsters flying inside the stadium, and landing on the ground. They notice that the monsters are carrying the competitors who were hospitalized. Upon seeing this, one of the competitors starts to run off but is pushed back by the boss of the monsters as it slowly enters the arena. The boss asks whether all the competitors are present and then announces that all of them will become monsters. The monster tells the refuse of martial arts that they will be useful as monsters. From the stands, a person yells, "You heroes are the best, get 'em!" The heroes prepare themselves to fight, refusing the monster's request. The monster uses its hand to punch them, sending them flying into the sky, and wonders if it's the end for them. Then he turns to the people in front of him and introduces himself as Gogetsu from the Monster Association. He explains that he didn't come to take their lives. The host and a few other champions seem to have recognized Gogetsu as the first winner of the Fighters Championship. Gogetsu replies that them recognizing him makes things easier. The host tells him that it's impossible since the Gogetsu they've known has been dead for years, killed by a monster. Gogetsu explains that it's true he was beaten by a monster but wasn't killed. Instead, he was taken to their lair where they made him an offer, and becoming a monster fulfilled his ambitions. He then drops monster cells on the floor, saying they've been given the same opportunity and they should just eat the monster cells. One of the competitors eats the cell first, making him strong and huge. Seeing this, Chezo wonders what it can do to him if it made a weak person that strong. So he takes one as well. He grows horns and his skin color turns red. He speaks that he feels stronger and tests his strength on a competitor with a punch, sending him flying into the sky. Gogetsu then tells the competitors to eat up or die. Some eat because they're afraid to die, others because they want the power immediately after consuming the cells. They start complimenting themselves, saying they feel energized. Shuryu, who's watching this seemingly bored, walks over to a girl who's shaking in fear and asks her, "Hey, if I chase these monsters away, will you go on a date with me?" The girl immediately replies that she will. Meanwhile, Gogetsu gets angry that there's still someone who is defying him. When Gogetsu commands for the new monsters to get him, they all get beaten up easily except for Chezo, who puts up a fight. He throws punches and Chezo dodges and sometimes gets hit. The same goes for Shuryu. When Chezo sees that he doesn't stand a chance, he uses his powers. His horns start lighting up while he explains that he'll eliminate them all because there's no place for them. As he aims his horns to attack them, Shuryu blocks his attack, taking Chezo by surprise. Before he can recover, Shuryu grabs his horns, breaking them. This makes Chezo mad, and he lunges forward, and the two start exchanging punches too fast for the people to see. Shuryu eventually kills Chezo by using his Dark Body Quake Tiger Fist and punches Chezo's stomach, killing him. Shuryu then approaches Gogetsu, who is impressed by his strength and urges him to change sides, but he refuses and lunges upwards towards him to punch him. Gogetsu uses his fist to pound him, sending him to the ground. Meanwhile, on the other side of the town, the people are cheering for Watchdog, since he saved them from monsters while Garo watches from a distance, waiting for his time to attack. Garo is impressed with Watchdog's speed, so he lunges forward, thinking that it beats his time to be hunted. As he's about to punch, Watchdog dodges and asks him if he's some sort of monster. They start exchanging punches, and Garo realizes that Watchdog is strong and has speed as well. At the arena, Gogetsu gives Shuryu 3 seconds to get up, as he is about to crush him with its foot. Shuryu gets up and lunges at the monster, continuously punching it. Unfortunately, it does not flinch. Then Gogetsu tells these 3 flying monsters they could all have their fun. The monsters start killing the remaining competitors while Shuryu gets beaten up. He tries to attack with his Dark Body Tiger Fist, but Gogetsu catches his fist and flicks his finger, beating him up. The other monsters start attacking him, and he decides to run, but it blocks his way. When he sees Bakuzo, he feels relieved and tells him he needs him. But Bakuzo ends up consuming more of the monster cells to become stronger and teach Shuryu a lesson, but he ends up fainting. He loses hope of getting out alive when his friends Snake and Max arrive, explaining they've come back to save him. Together, they can take down the 3 monster birds. Then they tell Shuryu to run, saying they'll buy him time. Shuryu tries to stop him, saying they don't stand a chance, but they insist on staying. So he starts running and plans to get out. As he's about to fly out, Bazuko appears in front of him and smashes him, sending him to the ground. Gogetsu is impressed at how Bazuko has turned out, as huge as him. Bazuko sees Shuryu moving, he jumps up, lands on him, and then throws punches at him. Meanwhile, in the monster's lair, a monster is updating the boss of all the monsters that their plan is working accordingly, and all the newly turned monsters are on their way to the lair. A monitor monster reaches the area and tells Gogetsu to return to the lair because S-Class heroes are about to arrive. He tells Bazuko, who yells that no one tells him what to do as he lunges to attack. Bazuko is overpowered and Gogetsu warns him of the S-Class heroes, saying he doesn't stand a chance. Then he starts leaving after telling him the location of the lair. Tsuryu begs Bazuko to spare his life, but he doesn't listen as he breaks both his legs by stepping on them. Desperate and in pain, Tsuryu starts screaming in tears for heroes to help him. Thinking the heroes didn't hear him, Bazuko tries to step on him when Saitama arrives, carries Tsuryu out of the way, and says, "You fought so hard on your own, Tsuryu. Rest and let me take care of the rest," Saitama says as he walks towards Bazuko. That brings us to the end of this anime, and I'm sure this video was good for you. If you want to see more of our recaps of this cute bald-headed man, like, subscribe, and leave your love. See you crazy weebs next time, same channel, different video.